Wonderful. All right. So moving on to question 2. Ali says here, I'm getting fed up with needy tenants and anti-landlord legislation. I'm thinking of selling my 7 residential buy-to-lets and putting the money, about 100,000 per house, into my pension. I think I'll be crucified by tax, CGT, and income on pension draw, but I'd be free from having a large chunk of cash in my trust pension. But I'd be free and have a large chunk of cash in my trust pension, inheritance tax exempt. What are your thoughts? Okay, great question there, Ali. Thanks for sending that one in. And I think you're not on your own, Ali, if I'm honest. So I tend to keep an eye on social media, property groups and all the rest of it. And there's a few people that are also in the same position where they've been in the market for 20 plus years. And, whilst the rents that people are receiving are now at an all-time high, now their expenses are also at an all-time high as well. And it becomes a problem because they're also feeling squeezed. And I did a webinar recently with a guy called James Cocker, who will be releasing that webinar really soon. But he was pointing out that 25% of landlords have actually left the market recently. And that's causing a real problem with housing stock. And it seems bizarre to me that the Conservatives, who are normally in favour of things like small business and being a landlord and all the rest of it, are seemingly squeezing the landlords so much that is causing them this problem, and they're becoming fed up. So the one problem that you may have, depending upon how long you've been in this game, Ali, and it sounds as though you've got a reasonable chunk of equity in each of your properties. The main problem you may have is that I know a lot of investors, when they start building their property portfolio, is that they will refinance their properties in order to extract some of the equity and then go and buy more properties with that equity. And if you've done that a number of times, your property values may have grown, particularly over the course of the last 15, 20 years. But the main problem is when you come to sell, your property value has gone up and your taxable liability, again, I'm not a tax advisor, so seek independent professional advice, but your taxable liability is based on the overall increase in the property value, but the equity may not be there to pay your liability, okay? So you need to think very carefully, and as I say, get some proper professional consultation from somebody who's there, who can really help you out, who understands the nuts and bolts of what you paid for it, what you spent on the properties, how long you've owed them for, what reliefs you may be entitled to, and all the rest of it, because you may qualify for, we used to call it entrepreneur's relief, but there may be a special taxable, what's the word I'm looking for here? A special taxable benefit that you may be able to apply if you're selling your business wholesale, that you may be able to have a reduced CGT liability. So have a conversation with somebody about that who specializes in tax. If you don't know anybody, come talk to me. I might be able to put you in touch with somebody, but that might give you options in terms of a lower taxable liability to then transfer your money away from the property market into something else. Now, I don't want you to think that it could be a grass is greener situation, that you just put your money into a pension and let it ride out, because you may be aware, or you may not be aware, that over the course of the last few months, with all the uncertainty in the economy, that people have seen their pension values wiped out, and some have lost, sort of 10%, others have lost like 40% of their pension value. And there's a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace at the moment, and there is a recession. I'm going to say it's here. Whether people want to admit that or not, I don't know, but there's definitely a recession here. You've only got to look at the amount of value that a lot of the big companies in the world have lost over the course of the last year. Interestingly, before I came on this webinar, I was just talking about the amount of value that Elon Musk has seemingly lost over the course of the last 12 months, with Tesla stocks virtually halving. And, it's a lot of value to be wiped off stocks. We're having the same problem with things like Facebook and other big companies, Amazon, for example. And the value of these companies is declining because of the uncertainty in the market, and because of the fact that I think people sense that there's a recession here, and they're already feeling the impact of the inflation, but it's just the fact that the media haven't really made us aware that, there's a recession here, right? And that's usually what happens. So be careful not to fall into the trap of thinking that the grass is always greener and that there will be a better option by just throwing your money into a pension and letting somebody else manage it for you, because you need to take an active role, I think, in doing something like this. And it may well be that the diversification of your funds might be the best way to look at it. And the other thing you've got to think about is, if we are in a recession, there are going to be better buying opportunities in the near future. So maybe it's sensible to liquidate one or two of your properties, put yourself into a little bit of a liquid cash position, and then take advantage of opportunities when they start to come up. Okay. Because I want to just give you a quick idea of what I'm talking about here. I've been reading this book, which has fascinated me. It's kind of doing the rounds on social media at the moment. It's called The Psychology of Money. For those of you that have not, who can't see my screen, but it's called The Psychology of Money, and it is well worth a read because it talks about a lot of the other aspects that a lot of entrepreneurial books don't talk about. So a lot of books get carried away with, Warren Buffett, for example, is the best investor in the world, and he's got this incredible ability to pick winning stocks and buy winning companies and all the rest of it. But a lot of people don't realize that there are other elements such as risk and luck that play a massive part in people becoming substantially wealthy, as well as the impact of compound returns over a significant period of time. And I want to give you an example of what I'm talking about here, because this absolutely blew me away when I read this statistic. And this is what really blew me away. So let me read it to you. 81.5 billion of Warren Buffett's 84.5 billion net worth came after his 65th birthday. Okay. I can't really do the maths here, but I'm guessing like 95% of his wealth came after his 65th birthday. And it's because he's taken advantage, or he's been able to benefit from compounded returns over a significantly long enough period of time that he's actually reached his goal. Now, a lot of people who are listening to this may not be interested in becoming as rich and wealthy as Warren Buffett. That's not actually the point I'm trying to make here. But what I'm trying to make is that, I would read this book, The Psychology of Money, if you're thinking about what to do as your next steps, because it puts a different spin on a lot of the traditional financial advice that I see handed out by financial advisors and all the rest of it. Ultimately, what are you investing for? And the biggest thing so far that the book has covered is the benefit of time is the biggest benefit that money can buy you. If you can do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want, that's ultimately the key to being as happy as we can be as human beings in this life, and ultimately giving us the best return on the money that we've invested, right? So maybe that's a good way to look at things. Have a read of that book. Decide whether or not that's kind of giving you some guidance on your investment strategy, because you might decide that you're going to stick with property. You might decide that you're going to sell it all up, Ali, in a fit of pique and just say, do you know what, enough, I've had enough, I'm going to put it all into the stock market. That's entirely up to you. Obviously, I'm not guiding you or I'm not giving you financial advice on any which way, but, I am seeing more and more landlords in the same situation. And I will say that I think over the next 12, 18 months, there's going to be some incredible buying opportunities. So, just sit that one out, sit with it, see what feels right for you. As I say, liquidating some of your position may be good in order to put yourself in a position to pounce when there's some good deals that come along. And it might be that a switch in strategy is good for you. Excuse me. I know quite a few people are going towards serviced accommodation, but also commercial property may be the right investment strategy for you. There's a lot of people that will go out there, they'll find commercial properties, they'll get really good tenants in, like Costa Coffee, for example, and that will massively increase the property value. They'll sign a 25-year lease on that property, and happy days. It's all hands-off investing. There's less loan to value involved, unfortunately, but it could be completely hands-off, completely risk-free. Well, as risk-free as you can be with property and all the rest of it. And that may well be a good switch in strategy to move away from residential and move over towards commercial. So hopefully that's given you some guidance there, Ali. Wishing you the best of luck with that. And if you need anything else, then please do let me know. So that's the end of today's webinar, guys. Thank you so much indeed for tuning in. I'm sorry, it's coming up for I think it's like gone midnight now, half 12 at night or something. And as I say, we're due to travel tomorrow, so need to go and get some rest in. But thank you so much for being here, for tuning in. If you got value from anything that we've explored here today, guys, any of the questions that we've outlined, please do share this on social media with your friends and family, and do invite them to submit questions or tune into future episodes of Get Your Property Questions Answered webinars and podcasts. We'd love to have them come and join us and to submit their questions and get some support in their journey. Feel free to also go to our website, which is WiggyWam.co.uk, and have an explore on there, because we've built in a number of really cool resources for people that are looking to move house, or for businesses that are looking to grow in the current uncertain economic times. There's something amazing that we've got planned, which is coming out very, very soon. I'm so excited about it. I'm really struggling to keep my mouth shut about it, but it'll have to wait because we've, it's not quite ready to be unveiled at this moment in time, but do please keep in contact and in tune with us. If you like the idea of making money from helping other people and putting valuable products and services out into the marketplace, then we'd love to hear from you as well, because we can do some amazing things together. So thanks again for tuning in. Any questions or comments or feedback that you'd like to send through to us, you can send that through to happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. That's happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. You can also submit questions, comments, feedback on our website, which is wiggywam.co.uk, and also on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is WiggyWam_UK. All right, you guys, thanks so much indeed again, and look forward to seeing you on another webinar in the not too distant future. All right, you take care. Thanks. Bye.